Hi, this is Dr. Padma Garvey. Thanks for watching. On today's show, I'm going to be showing you how to make seitan from scratch. Seitan is a plant-based protein option, and you can use seitan as a replacement for chicken or pork or beef in stews and stir-fries and curries, etc. This is a package that I got from the store, but it can be expensive, and it's actually much cheaper to try and make seitan from scratch. Seitan is nothing new. It's been around since the 6th century, and it's a great way of introducing some variety into your plant-based diet. So you can season your seitan however you want. You're going to start with 2 cups of gluten flour that I got from the store. And since I'm going to make an Asian version first, the seasonings that I pick will be Asian inspired. So I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of onion powder. I'm going to add a tablespoon of garlic powder. I'll add a tablespoon of ground ginger and half a teaspoon of salt. And then you can mix this with your hand, and then you want 3/4 cup of warm water, to which you'll add 2 tablespoons of soy sauce and a tablespoon of Vegemite, and you'll need to mix this with your hand so that the Vegemite dissolves. The key to making seitan, there's 2 important rules, but the first one is to try and use as little liquid as you can get away with. So you'll add the liquid bit by bit and incorporate well with your hand. You want to use enough liquid so you form a tight dough ball, but you certainly don't want to go overboard with the amount of liquid. And you incorporate this with your hand. And then the second important point in making good seitan is that you need to knead this dough for at least 30 minutes. And this is where using the bread hook on your Cuisinart food processor comes in very handy. So you get the dough together and then place it in your Cuisinart and put the bread hook on, set the rate to 2, and let it knead the mixture for at least 30 minutes. After that's done, you need to wrap this dough in some cheesecloth. So the first sheet of cheesecloth you place on your counter, and you wrap the dough in the cheesecloth as tightly as you can. And keep in mind, you can wash and dry and use your cheesecloth over and over again. So it's not something that you throw away. It's reusable. So you form a tight structure and then pinch it at the ends, and then get a second cheesecloth. This one you're going to use to wrap the structure in 90 degrees from what you did before. And then using either twine or rubber bands, you're going to wrap the twine or the rubber band around this structure so that it retains its tight mold. Next, you'll place this in your pressure cooker, add about 5 cups of water, enough so that it's submerged. And again, since this version is Asian, I'm going to add some soy sauce to the water, and you'll cook this on a high pressure setting for 45 minutes. I'm going to show you a second version. This one is something that's going to be more Western inspired. It's going to resemble chicken, and it's all about the dry seasoning that you put in. So if I wanted to have this next seitan taste more like pork, I might add fennel, for instance, or apple. So I'm going to put 2 cups of my wheat flour, gluten flour, and I'm going to add about a tablespoon or 2 of nutritional yeast flakes, which resemble Parmesan cheese. I'm going to add a tablespoon of my vegan chicken stock. Some onion powder and garlic powder, and some dried red pepper, some crushed black pepper. Again, if I wanted to change the profile, I could add some dried apple, I could add some fennel, crushed fennel, I could add some beetroot juice to give it a red color. You can really play around with it. So here, just a little bit of water at a time. Again, you want to really keep the amount of water to a minimum. You need just enough to incorporate everything into a dough ball, but not too much so that it's mushy. And like before, you want to make sure you knead it for a good 30 minutes. And then you would put it in the pressure cooker, and you could flavor the water with white wine or Marsala wine or fennel or whatever you choose. You can really play around with it. So this is my Asian version that's done. I'm going to take it out and unwrap it. Take out the rubber bands and unwrap it. And what you see is that it looks like a pretty firm mold. And I'm going to cut it to show you that it's actually pretty dense, and it really does have the texture of meat. Now you can use it in slabs to mimic a fillet. You can grind it in your food processor and make meatballs out of it, or use it in place of ground meat. You can cube it, and it is ideal for stir fries. You can freeze these in your freezer and use them as needed. I like to put these in my dumplings, my Asian dumplings. They're so versatile, so nutritious, and once you learn to make it, you'll see that it's very inexpensive and easy to use.